Do you remember all the drawings you made as a kid? Do you remember who you wanted to become? Do you remember your childhood dreams? I believe we don't lose our childlike wonder as we grow up, we just choose to ignore it or to forget. I do not want to betray myself by forgetting my dreams, so I have decided to chase them. Hello everyone, my name is Philip and I've always loved creating. Ever since I was little, I've been fascinated by stories and how emotion can be conveyed through art. I like all things creative, but most of all, I like video games. I've been playing them even before I could read or understand English. And if you grew up in the 2000s like me and had a PS2, you might know games like Kingdom Hearts or Ratchet & Clank. Those games hold a very special place in my heart. I also love watching shows like E3 back in the day or the Game Awards more recently to see new trailers for games. I appreciate masterfully crafted trailers because they can make me care about something in just a few minutes. As an example, the first trailer for Marathon got me so hyped. The whole art direction goes insanely hard, but what impressed me the most was their cinematic trailer, directed by Alberto Mielgo. I've probably rewatched it like 15 times already. It's not even a trailer, it's just a full-blown short film. Seeing this for the first time was the final push for me. I've always wanted to make something of my own, instead of just observing. So this year I've given myself a challenge. Make my first short film and release it on December 31st. This video serves as a progress update of January. I'm planning on releasing one every month, so that makes this the first episode out of a 12-part series. This year feels very important to me. It's the year of the horse. Guess what my zodiac sign is? That's right, the horse. So clearly the universe itself is telling me to document this journey. So why a short film instead of a game, since I love them so much? A short film is self-contained. I don't need to worry about player interaction or things outside of my control. The medium of a short film is a perfect way to explore different artistic disciplines. Storytelling, drawing, cinematography, sound design, animation. Most of these things I've never done before, so this will be a great learning experience for me. I'm aiming for a length between 3 to 5 minutes, and it will be entirely CGI, made in Blender. I've already used Blender before for product rendering and some other projects, but I hope to really take my 3D skills to the next level by completing this project at the end of the year. But what is the film actually about? Let me take you back to COVID times. In 2020, I spent 500 hours inside a PS4 game called Dreams. The name is very fitting for this video. It's less of a game, more of a very approachable game engine where you could create your own games. Here I was developing a game I called Rekindled. I wanted to create a narrative, exploration-driven game with a focus on vibes. A mix between God of War, Death Stranding, Nier Automata and The Witness. It was my first introduction to 3D modeling, nodes and logic. I was insanely proud of this custom walk animation I made. And generally, I had a lot of fun creating this game. I started going to university though, so sadly I never got to finish it, but the concept kept brewing in my head. When I decided to make a short film, I knew I wanted to revisit this topic. I already had core ideas to work with. I want to tell a science fiction story about AI, but I don't want to explore common tropes like AI discovering consciousness, becoming human and eventually surpassing us. We always assume AI will keep getting better, that it'll eventually reach true consciousness. But what if it doesn't? What if it stagnates, endlessly learning, forgetting and relearning human patterns, stuck in a limbo, almost human, but never quite. A robot, lost in a world he doesn't understand, cursed by memories not his own. With this short film, I want to reboot my game, Rekindled. But it can't be just rekindled with better graphics. It needs to be its own thing, so it needs a new name. I studied Latin in high school, and we read a lot of stories and myths in class. One of them stuck with me, the founding myth of Rome. Romulus and Remus are twin brothers, abandoned at birth and raised by a she-wolf. They grew up strong and decided to found a city together, but when they argued over where to build it, Romulus killed his brother and founded Rome. What fascinates me about this story isn't Romulus, it's Remus. That's the name of the short film, and it's also the name for the protagonist. Metaphorically speaking, I don't want to build Rome. I want to explore the path not taken. The alternate possibility, the world that never was. That's what Remus represents to me. I know it doesn't make complete sense yet, but trust me, it will in a couple of months. So I have the themes, I have the concepts, now it's time for the actual work. Alright, so what did I actually do in January? First, I set up a Notion database to keep an overview of all my tasks. I organized it in a somewhat chronological order based on what I found online from documentaries about how creative projects are made. I'm also very proud of this little day tracker I vibe coded. But to be honest, I haven't been using Notion that much. Instead, most of my time went into writing. A lot of writing. And most of that happened in Obsidian. If you're not familiar, it's a note-taking app. I recommend this tutorial if you want to check it out, link in the description. What I did was write down every thought I could think of, every association, every fragment. I was trying to manifest the film in my mind first and then capture what I was seeing. The mood, the emotions, the vibe. From there, I started building the world, the lore, the factions, the backstory, the philosophical themes running underneath everything. Nothing's locked in yet, but I figured out enough to know, at least conceptually, how I want Remus to look. Which brings me to the next phase, visual development. For this, I switched to freeform. It's basically an infinite canvas where you can draw, type, drop in images, whatever you need. Right now, it's probably my most used app, and this is where I started sketching Remus for the first time, which is also where I hit my first real problem. See, I know exactly how he should look. In my head, it's crystal clear, but the moment I try to draw him, everything falls apart. The proportions are off, the shapes are too simplistic, there's no detail, no weight to it. It just doesn't hit, and that's a problem because I need character drawings to use as a reference for the 3D model. I could try to model straight from imagination, but I know I'd be chasing a quality I simply cannot reach. I don't have the visualization skills for that yet. Here's what I decided. I'm going to spend the next month learning to draw character art properly. Not to become an artist, that takes years, but to get good enough to produce clean, detailed front, side and back views. That's the focus for February. In the meantime, I've also been gathering references. Reference for the technology in the world, references for the environment, the architecture, the aesthetic. I even went through a catalog of Etruscan artifacts from a museum, looking for design inspiration for Remus. So yeah, all of this is invisible work. I have no renders to show you yet, no animations, no final designs, just notes and rough sketches. And honestly, I've been jumping around a lot. Writing one day, sketching the next, then going back to writing, then to getting references. But I'm choosing to believe this is still very important progress, because now is the time to throw all my ideas at the wall and see what sticks. Changing direction in the coming months will be very costly time-wise. Time we do not have. So that was the progress of January. Next up this month I want to start making test character animations and building some environments in Blender. I'm actually late with this video because I only recently had the idea for these devlog style videos, so I had to quickly put something together. I've already been doing short form content on TikTok, YouTube and Instagram. Please don't check them out. They are a bit cringe, but I also realized I wanted more laid back, longer form progress videos as well. So here we are. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next month.